Okay, guys, we have discussed mean that some of the kinds of verbs, and today we will talk about that semi-modal auxiliary verb. We have already written the definition of semi-modal auxiliary verb, but let me repeat again. Like suppose semi-modal auxiliary verb. So they are used to give special meaning to sentence, but cannot change affirmative sentence to negative and interrogative. We have discussed this point in the last class that the quality of modal auxiliary is that it is going to change, it is going to create a new meaning in a sentence, it is going to create its own special meaning in a sentence, and it also change affirmative sentence to negative and interrogative. It does not need any other helping verb. As far the semi-modal auxiliary are considered, so semi-modal auxiliary is semi, as I told you that the semi meaning is half. So it is performing some of the function of modal auxiliary and some of the function it cannot perform of modal auxiliary. Like the modal auxiliary has two functions, so it has one function and one function is missing in it. Which function does it have? It can also change the meaning of a sentence. It can also create a special meaning in a sentence, but it cannot change affirmative sentence to negative and interrogative. When you are going to change affirmative sentence to negative and interrogative, so it needs dummy auxiliary to change affirmative sentence to negative and interrogative. Dummy auxiliary, as you told you, do, does, did, etc. What are semi-modal auxiliary? So they are has to, have to, had to, ought to, and used to. You can see the example.
मैं घर घर में जाऊंगा.
Please, Asma, off your mic. The mic should be off. It's creating problem.
घर घर में फैलाऊंगा. 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 मैं घर घर में.
هذيك سكرين ريكورد كده आवाज ولا نراز ها
Okay, please خپل mic off करो बच्चे जब आवाज में दर्जी हाँ off का mic जब बस सिर्फ clear आवाज दर्जी خپل mics off करी. Okay, so they are has to, have to, had to, and ought to, and used to. Like as this says that semi-modal auxiliary can create any meaning in a sentence, but is unable to change affirmative sentence to negative and interrogative. Like you can see the example, Ali has to speak English. So in this sentence, has to is giving a special meaning to this sentence, but it is unable to change affirmative sentence to negative. Like you can see the next example, Ali doesn't have to speak English. So what we change this affirmative sentence to negative by the help of doesn't. So doesn't is actually a helping verb. It's a semi-modal auxiliary. Likewise, does Ali have to speak English? So we change the same affirmative sentence to interrogative, but it also need helping verbs here, like does in the start of it. So what? The quality of modal auxiliary are two, it create a special meaning in a sentence, and it also change affirmative sentence to negative and interrogative. But as for semi-modal auxiliary are considered, so what? They can change the meaning of a sentence, but it is unable to change affirmative sentence to negative and interrogative. So its quality is not available in it. Let me discuss one by one today all the modal auxiliary verb.
دري هم आवाज ولا का چې کوم الفاظ آی کې راځي
لکه چې نور خبرې پکې ما کوي
دا اوس نه کیږي دا بس دا کوم بیا
صحیح ده
بچې چې کوم کسان خبرې کوي بیا زری موف کوم پروت نو بیا به داسې ناست دي تاسو بار بار لګي خپل مایک آف کړئ آف مایک باندې خبرې کوئ پلیز آف مایک تاسو ته پکار تاسو به لیکچر صحیح طریقې سره اورئ. Okay, feature of semi-modal auxiliary. So semi-modal auxiliary verb are more than one word. They have only one form and they don't have ing, ed, and s forms. They are always followed by infinitive. They cannot form negative and interrogative themselves. They need other helping verb to make questions. I already discussed these points. We'll go for the new modal auxiliary today, semi-modal auxiliary, which is has to and have to. It is used to advise someone to do something. You know, advise, we have already discussed in the last classes that should we have learned, and then we have learned must. So should and must, both of them are used for advise. Same is the case with has to and have to. They are also used for advise. Like if you remember, I told you, I give the example in the last classes that whenever we get up early in the morning and we are going to go to college, so the advices are start from our parents, especially from our mother. What does our mother say? That you have to straight go to college or school. Likewise,
That's not. Sorry, that's booking. That's it. That's it. That's it.
आवाज वाली नाराजी
Now it's in the
okay, so likewise, it is used to advise someone to do something. So as I told you, and early in the morning, our mothers, our parents start advising to us, like you have to straight go to academy. Likewise, you straight have to study, focus on your study. Likewise, you have to focus on your road while crossing the road. Whenever you come to college, so the teacher also start advising you that you have to study hard, you have to come to class on time, you have to be regular to class. Like already given you the example of like doctor. Whenever we go to the doctors, we are sick, so the doctor also advises us that you have to take the medicine on proper time, you have to take a proper diet, etc. So the advices are the practical part of our life. So whenever you are going to give advice to somebody, so for the advice we are using have to and has to. Like we say he has to come on time and they have to help each other. So these are the advices. Mean has to and have to, they are stronger than should and weaker than must. Like so should we have discussed, like we have discussed must, and today we have discussed have to and has to. So all these three have same meaning, but there is a little difference. The difference is that should is the weakest, have to and has to is stronger than should, and must is the strongest one. And like suppose if we have more authority over someone, so we use must. If we are less, the authority degree is lower, so then we use have to and has to. And if we have the weakest authority over someone, so then we use should. So it is used for advise someone to do something. Then these are two words actually, has to and have to. So where to use has to and where to use have to. So we already know that subject pronoun, we have discussed it in the classes, like singular name, he, she, and it. With them you will use has to. But with I, you, we, they, you, and plural name, you will use have to. These are the rules. Understand? The examples are a little bit complicated. Whenever you are going to make sentences with has to, so like we say, Ali has to study hard. But if you are going to change it negative, so in a negative, we are going to add does not. And if you add does not, so then has to will change to have to again. Like we have affirmative sentence has to, Ali has to study hard. In a negative sentence, Ali doesn't have to study hard. So what if you are going to change affirmative sentence of has to negative? So we add does not after subject, and then we change has to have to. Like Ali doesn't have to study hard. The same is the case with the question, Ali has to study hard. If you are going to change it to question, and the question you will add does in the start, like does. And the rest of the structure is the same. Ali has to will change to have to and study hard. So does Ali have to study hard? Short affirmative answer, yes he does, and short negative answer, no he doesn't. Like have to. Have to, we add with a plural name, I, you, be there. Like today we have used here plural name, like Ali and Umar have to study hard. But if you are going to change it to negative, so in the plural you have studied that we will add don't or do not. So Ali and Umar do not, and have to will not be changed, have to will come on its own place, like Ali and Umar don't have to study hard. And the question you will also add do in the start of the same structure, like do Ali and Umar have to study hard? So short affirmative answer, yes they do, and short negative answer, no they don't. Likewise, we have had to. So had to, it is used to advise someone to do something in the past. It is the past form of has to and have to. Like we said, they had to cook at home. So what? You are going to give advice, but the advice are actually for the past and that has been finished. Likewise, suppose somebody told me that you a friend, they went to the restaurant and they ate the dinner in the restaurant. So what I say? I said that they had to cook at home. They had to cook at home mean they had to they need to cook at home and they should not go to the restaurant last night. Like they didn't have to cook at home. So negative again had to If you are going to change it to negative, so we change it like by the help of didn't, because had to is the past of have to and has to. So in the past you will add didn't after subject, and then had to will also change to have to. Cook at home. In the question, you will also add did in the start of affirmative structure, like we says did, the rest of the sentence is the same. They come on its own place, had to come on its own place, but we change the form because whenever did come, so you will change the past form to present form again. Like the present form of had to is have to. So they didn't have to cook at home. Yes, they did, and now they didn't are the short answer. Let me repeat had to. Had to is actually the past of have to and has to. It is used to advise someone to do something in the past. It is actually the advice for the past. Like suppose there were two options with somebody yesterday, that on one side there was somebody died and that person, and on one side there was the marriage party. So mean now today, yesterday the time has passed, today I says that somebody told me that there was two option with one person, that he had to attend a marriage party and he had to attend the funeral. So I say I'm giving advice for him that he had to attend the funeral. So what here? I give advice for the funeral here, not for the marriage party. Like suppose he had to attend the class last week. He didn't have to miss the class last week. So whenever you are going to give advice to somebody for the past, so for the past advice we are using had to. As I told you that if you are changing have to and has to past, so you will change to change it to negative and interrogative, so you will change them by the help of other helping verb. Like they had to cook at home, so what you are going to change it to negative form by the help of didn't. They didn't have to cook at home. If you are going to change it to interrogative, in the interrogative you will add did in the start of it, like did they have to cook at home? Short affirmative answer, yes they did. Short negative answer, no they didn't. Then we have ought to. It is used to advise someone to do something. It has exactly the same meaning to should. Let me check and remove that person who is making disturbance. Creating a big problem. I don't know who's that stupid person. The students. I cannot find the person. I will remove other person then. So it's also a big problem for me.
سر جی یو دا هم مایک کولاو دی
دا ټول ماته ښکاري مایکونه، خو دا چې زه چې دا څوک پکې ډسټربنس کوي چې دغه ریموف کوم بس بیا غم شم. ټول کلاس یې منه
سر ټول له وای ما مایکونه اف کینو سر چې څوک دا چا مایک ان وی ای وز ریموف کم سر اسه
ټول ته مو دا څوک ریموف
پکې لا کې مت کولاو کړي
Untitled 25 Pro and the map. Why?
Please off your mic, all of you. So mic off के बच्चे सिर्फ question दफारा mic on का वही. Just on the mic for asking question at the end of the class, not in the middle of the class, because you will understand the lecture very properly. If not, so then you will face the problem. Okay, please let me continue. So the next topic is about ought to. It is used to advise someone to do something. So it is used to advise someone to do something. It has exactly the same meaning like should. Mean ought to is also used for the advice, but its meaning is exactly like should. But sometimes the people can use should, and sometimes the people are using ought to. But ought to is not very useful one. Nowadays, should is very useful one. Like suppose they ought to stay home. We can also say they should stay home. They don't ought to stay home. If you are going to change it to negative, so ought to will be also changed by the help of demi-auxiliary don't they don't ought to stay home. If you are going to change it to question, so do they ought to stay home? Short affirmative answer, yes they do, and no they don't. So ought to meaning is exactly like mean we have should. So there are 4 model auxiliary which has exactly the same meaning, but only the degrees difference are there. Like should and ought to are there. Should and ought to has exactly the same meaning and exactly the same degree. Likewise, we are talking about have to and has to. Have to and has to are also used for advice, but they are stronger than should and ought to. And then we have must. So must also used for the advice, but it is the strongest one. It is stronger than all the others. So exactly the same meaning they give. Next we have used to. It is express discontinued habit, activity, or situation. It expresses discontinued habit, activity, or situation. Mean we have some habit in the past and we don't have that habits anymore. So for that we are using used to. For example, I say here, I used to play cricket. So I used to play cricket mean I had much time and it was my habit whenever I get free from school. So I played cricket. But now I don't have this habit that activity has finished from me anymore. Like I used to play cricket. Likewise, we have written example here, he used to eat nails. It's a habit. A person, he had the habit of eating nails, but he doesn't have this habit anymore. That habit has been finished from him. Like they used to play cricket. So they used to play cricket. They had the habit of playing cricket, but they don't have this habit anymore. Likewise, we can say here, he used to be happy. So she used to be happy mean she had the habit to be happy, but she doesn't have that happiness anymore. Okay, so she used to be happy, but that happiness is not there anymore. So whenever you are talking about past activity, past habit or past situation, that activity is not continue anymore. That was finished now. That was only continue in the past. So for that we are using yes, used to. Any question in this topic, please? This topic has been finished. If you have any question, you are free to ask.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, ये used to सिर्फ fast habit के लिए इस्तेमाल होगा.
I didn't understand. Again, please repeat and speak loudly.
Sir, ये used to सिर्फ fast habit के लिए इस्तेमाल होगा.
Yeah. Yes,
अगर कोई
used to is
habit
used for the past
में
habit.
हुआ हो.
Sometimes we can also use it for the present. But today, actually, our topic is to talk about past. And the present also we can use, like, he is used to speak English. So it is not used for the habit. It is used for those habits which you are trying to follow, actually, which you want to have now. So for that, we are also using used to.
Yes, sir.
सर दलता वाला used to माना संगई सर he used to eat nail उसका
अच्छे था
ये
सो-
इसका यहाँ इसका meaning habit
Of course, it is a habit, and it is a past habit, and this habit is not continue anymore. This habit has finished now. This habit is not continued. Like as I told you, that I used to play cricket. So mean that when I was a student of a school, so I had the habit of playing cricket. I used to do this activity, but I don't do this activity anymore. That
Right.
activity was in the past. Like suppose he used to eat nails. This boy, like we are talking about, he used to eat nails. So he has the habit. Eating nails is not an activity, it's a habit. So a person, he had this habit, but now this habit is not there anymore. He has finished, he has removed this habit anymore. Likewise, we say they used to play cricket. So this habit was there in the past, but this habit is not anymore there. This habit has been finished. Likewise, we can talk about that he used to be happy, so mean that he was happy in the past, but he is not happy anymore. He is now sad always. So mean that whenever you are talking about the activity, you are talking
Yes.
about the habit, you are talking about the situation which was true in the past, but that is not true anymore. So for that we are using actually used to. Is it clear now?
yes sir.
Okay, so we will go for the next topic. This topic has been finished. We will go for the adverb today.
सर ये एक फीमेल का जो है ना वीडियो ऑन है